Hey everybody! Today I have a great pleasure of interviewing Miss Universe Ireland 2020, Nadia Sayers. This is actually a follow-up interview, and we're just going to ask Nadia how her experience with Miss Universe was, and so she can fill us with all these lovely details that we all want to hear. So if you have any questions for her, feel free to ask them in the comment, in the chat box down below. So we're just waiting for her to log on. Okay, I think she's coming in. Let's see. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, gorgeous?
Good. How are you?
I love your hair.
Thank you.
Ooh, how long did you spend like fixing it, doing it?
I literally finished work and fixed up my makeup and my hair. My hair took like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love your earrings too. I want to see your dress. Could you stand up, please? Ooh.
Little pantsuit and leotard.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going out tonight? Because I know it's 6:30 there, right?
Yes, it's 6:30 here now. No, after this, I'm going to the very glamorous gym. Going to work out.
Well, I think we all need to work out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I do the gym. I don't go to the gym, but I do have a treadmill at home, and I do the treadmill for about half an hour a day.
Okay, that's
Watching my favorite YouTube, shows and whatnot, just pass time and everything. Well, I'm so happy to see you. We're live on YouTube right now, so we're just waiting for people to come in and whatnot.
Thank you for inviting me back.
Oh, I know. I've always wanted to talk to you, and I'm gonna have some questions for you, and I want you to answer them. Now, before I start, knowing about Ireland, I do love limericks. So literally 20 minutes ago, I composed a limerick for you. Want to hear it?
Okay. Of course.
Ready? Okay. There once was a young lady named Nadia who made a trip to sunny Florida. She was loved by everyone because she was such full of fun, and that's why she was crowned darling of the media.
I love it.
You love it? Okay, I'm gonna send it to you so you can share it with everybody.
That is like no one has ever written a limerick for me before, so that will go on my wall. I will get it printed and put it on my wall.
Yes, please. Actually, I get this newsletter from Katie once in a while. Yeah, publish it so for the whole world to see how beautiful you are and
That's a good idea.
Wonderful, thank you. Now listen. So, when did you come back? When did you return to Ireland?
Oh, so last 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
This Friday, Friday 2 weeks ago, I landed in Ireland, and then it was technically 9 days of quarantine because I had to wait until my final day 8 COVID test was back so that I could go out. So this week has really been my first week outside of my house back to any kind of normality.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, did you take the vaccine?
No, so we haven't got the vaccine yet.
Not yet. Okay.
It's opened up now here for younger age groups, so I'm allowed to get it now. But because it's opened up, the booking system has went crazy, so I can't even get an appointment. It's booked out every time I go. So we haven't got any yet.
Now, what is the consensus in Ireland? Because I know in the United States, there are some people who don't believe in taking the vaccine because they think it's it's their freedom of choice.
Yes.
And I haven't taken the vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer,
Yeah.
but I do believe that you need to do your research thoroughly before you take anything foreign into your body. So that's the main argument. So I was wondering about the consensus in Ireland. Is it the same?
So yeah, here I think for the most part, the majority are on the way to getting the vaccine.
Okay.
The majority are kind of on, I would say, guesstimating like 70% of people, 65,
Okay.
70%. That's my guesstimate.
Mhm.
But then obviously there are people who are just not sure yet. I don't think there's so many that saying, no, I'm definitely not getting it.
Right.
There are a lot more saying, I'm not in a rush to get it. I'm going to wait another few months and see, sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think that's a lot of. I think some people do believe that. I'm in that opinion as well. I'm going to
yeah, yeah,
wait until because right now it hasn't been approved by the Federal Drug Administration, by the Food and Drug
okay,
Administration in the
yeah.
states. So it is still considered as an
The Johnson
experimental.
Johnson?
The Johnson and Johnson vaccine, that one is quite controversial. Is
Yes.
is is that the one available in Ireland or
No, so the kind of two that we're being offered is the Pfizer
okay?
and the AstraZeneca.
Okay, so what about the Moderna? Because there's also Moderna.
We don't
I'm not
really have
sure.
the Moderna. It's those two
Okay.
that we're kind of getting the option between. And I think the Pfizer was FDA approved, but went through an emergency case.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully, little by little, we'll go back to normality
Yeah.
because I think, well, actually, I actually wanted to talk about, your whole Miss Universe experience, starting with your preparations, your preparations before the pageant. I know you had been training very, very hard ever since you were, crowned Miss Universe Ireland 2020. And I know that to you, that was a big shock that you were chosen to represent Ireland.
The
And
good
not
stuff.
well, you were shocked, but not to me, because I was actually rooting for you to win Miss Universe Ireland, and I thought you were a very strong, contestant and stuff and everything. Now, did you have any like issues or major concerns about your preparations at all? I mean, did you feel like you were very prepared for the competition?
So I think automatically at the beginning, whenever I was initially crowned Miss Universe Ireland, because we went into lockdown again a few weeks before that, I am not gonna lie. Once we got past the holidays, I was like, oh my goodness, like how am I gonna get ready for the biggest stage in the world when I'm in my house in lockdown? Like even the simplest things like training. Normally, I would have been at the gym 4 or 5 days a week anyway. But for this year and the year that I step on the Miss Universe stage, I couldn't step foot in the gym. I don't have gym equipment. I had one set of dumbbells and two resistance bands.
Right.
That was
Okay.
my gym.
That was
Uh,
your gym.
yes, but I'm so fortunate. I had Noah from Priority Strength. He was training us. He's trained the past Miss Universe Irelands as well. And he was so patient and worked with me. Even something as simple as him saying, I need you to do this on a chair. And I was like,
Right.
I don't have a chair. I only have a rotating chair, and that's not safe. So we worked around it. So there were moments where I was panicking about not being able to do the traditional training that all of the other queens had done face to
Yeah.
face. Because normally there was 3 months of training that the queens could access.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
the team were amazing, from Jay Scott, Brittany, Katie, everyone was amazing. Every day they were checking in to make sure that I was okay, to check in on my mindset and everything as well, because they knew that I was in lockdown in a house for months.
Yeah.
So they were a godsend, and they worked so hard to get me ready. And before I left, I genuinely felt like I'm okay. I'm okay to step on this stage. Like I don't feel like I'm going to be stepping on the stage with any regrets, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, I know not being able to see people in person, like face to face, was very challenging. But how did you deal, let's say, with the wardrobe fittings, like for your evening gown, and also for your national costume, with less contact as possible?
Yeah.
How,
So my evening gown was made in Miami.
okay.
Yes,
All right.
by Sharon Osp. She's phenomenal. She was based in Miami, and whenever I was there, so I just measured myself,
You did.
sent my measurements, and she worked from that. And whenever I got to Miami, we were able to go. I think I did 2 dress fittings,
Mhm.
and went in fully masked up, tried on the dress, pinned it, left. And the second one was the day that I took the dress to Miss Universe on the day that I checked in. So then with the national costume, again, I just sent my measurements. That was it. My national costume part of it arrived a couple of hours before I stepped on stage.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it was a Hail Mary, all or nothing. We're going to do it regardless.
Right. Well, I thought Brittany was going to have your costume like made in America and then deliver it herself, to Florida. So in that case, that would have avoided a lot of delay because I know some contestants had some major delay in getting
Yeah.
their costumes,
Yeah.
and also I know Miss Myanmar lost her entire luggage of
Luggage.
costumes
So
and gowns.
Brittany was based in Miami before I got there, in the US before I got there. So I was just flying over myself with a couple of suitcases. And we just tried to get whatever we could straight over to her as opposed to coming to me first and me having to try and transport it then. But yeah, no, we were very fortunate, but it was a lot of, we'll do as much as we can measurements wise and video call wise, but then we're just hoping for the best.
Okay, so your measurements were perfect. Your fitting was perfect. You didn't have any problems. No wardrobe malfunction, none whatsoever. No accidents or anything.
Not really. The bottom half of my national costume when it arrived it was a little bit different than we had kind of been anticipating and expecting. So there was a little bit of, before going on stage, pinning stuff and fixing stuff. So that, to be honest, was the only real kind of problem. Not even a drama, just like I needed to take 15-20 minutes and help with the chaperones and they helped me to fix it. But that was really it.
Mm-hmm. That was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
You did not bring a lot of suitcases with you. I think you only had 3 or 4. How many suitcases did you have?
Yeah, so I traveled over with 2 from here, and one was full of shoes. And then because some of the sponsored stuff was just sent directly to the team. Right. So whenever I checked in, I think I had 3 suitcases, a large, a medium, and a small, and then a second small one that was full of snacks.
Mm-hmm. Did you fly commercial or was it like business class?
No, I flew commercial.
Fly commercial?
Yeah.
That didn't bother you?
No.
I mean, yeah, but you're Miss Universe Ireland. And did you fly Irish? Is it Irish Airways? What is it?
So on the way there, I was Aer Lingus and then American Airlines, and then on the way back, I was British Airways.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Was it a direct flight though from
No,
Dublin?
So I couldn't fly out of Dublin because Dublin put the US on their red list. So if I had stepped foot in Dublin, then I would have had to hotel quarantine.
Got it. Okay.
So I went through Belfast to London, and then London direct to Miami.
Okay. So that took about how many, like 18 hours, pretty much, more or less?
So it was about an hour and a half over to London, and then it was 9.5 hours to Miami.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad at all. They were pretty direct. There was no massive layovers in between or anything, so it was great.
Okay. So there was no drama on the plane. No people were like arguing with the flight attendants. Oh, I don't want to wear a mask, blah, 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 that's that stuff.
No, it was so serene. So the thing was, our plane on the way there and the way back, I would say honestly, there was maybe only 15 people on the plane on the way there.
Right. Wow.
So there was maybe only like 15 people there. So you had a full row to yourself. So you had all the space to lie down, have a nap if you wanted. And yeah, everyone just was kind of wanted to sleep or relax. It was very serene the whole way there. And the way back, there was no big dramas.
Were you wearing your Miss Universe Ireland sash while you were traveling?
Yes.
Or your crown? Were you wearing your crown?
Didn't wear my crown.
Hello, everybody. I'm Miss Universe Ireland.
I thought that would, hold me up at security. So I just brought my sash. But they were so excited. Like so many of the hotel staff and airline staff were so excited to hear all about it. And I think because it was so difficult to get the authorization to fly over, there was so much paperwork I had to go through and I had to get. So whenever I was initially presenting paperwork, they were like, what's this for? And then Miss Universe had given us like letters of invitation, and they were like, oh, so you're like a person. Right. Like you're like a person in this. And I was like, yes, I am.
You're a diplomat. You're an ambassador.
I was like, yes, I am.
So you arrived in Florida safe and sound. What were your first impressions of the state? I mean, was that your first visit in America?
No, no, I actually was in Los Angeles before. I went on a
Oh,
holiday when I was 16, and then when I was 21, I lived there for 4 months.
okay.
So I lived and I worked. I'd never been to Florida before, but I
Okay.
knew like I'd been in the US before, spent some time there, bought some groceries, day to day sort of
Okay.
stuff.
So what's your experience like living in California compared to, let's say, uh, being in Florida? I mean, they're pretty much the same state. Like they have the same weather and whatnot.
Yeah,
You know.
weather-wise, they were really similar, but it's difficult to say because obviously, whenever I went to Los Angeles, I was working, but I had my evenings, I had my weekends. It was like a job, just a day
Right.
job. Whereas when I was in Miami, it was a whirlwind adventure. So I honestly, you couldn't compare them. I never went grocery shopping in Miami.
Well, you didn't have to because you were a queen.
Yeah,
Queens don't grocery shop. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
And
They
then I
have
had to go home and do
slaves.
my own grocery shopping again.
You're normal again. Oh,
Normal again.
maybe you want to extend your reign for another year so you can, just so you can like normal things anymore. That's funny.
Go meet my Miss Universe family again.
I know, right? Right. So you arrive at Seminole Hotel and Casino, Hard Rock Cafe. Who was the first contestant that you met?
So obviously, whenever we arrived, we went and got a COVID test done and went straight into isolation for the night. Um, and they brought your dinner to your door. I don't know if you saw. Some people mentioned it. So I did a live whenever I was in my hotel room as soon as I
Okay.
arrived, and I was talking away, chatting away. My dinner wasn't meant to arrive for another hour, and the next thing was this big knock on my door, and I was on live, and I was like, "That's my food. I gotta go." Hung up.
Well, you could like pause, the live. I'll be right back. Let me just eat something.
Oh, I think it took me by surprise. I was like, this is the first time I've been interrupted. What do I do?
Now, were you given a choice to eat, or did they force you to eat something or whatever?
No, so whenever we checked in with the staff and gave them some more paperwork, they had given us a menu that we could tick what we
Menu.
wanted: coffee, tea, food, pick a time that we wanted it. Of course, I was eating, and I ordered it all and a coffee. And when it arrived, Miss Singapore actually video called me because we had been talking before I flew over. So
Bernadette, yeah.
Bernadette, yeah, Bernadette and I had spoken. So she was in isolation and so was I. So we had dinner together over WhatsApp video call.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Is she still in the U.S.,
Yes,
Bernadette?
she's
She's still in the U.S. I think the last time I saw check her Instagram, she was in New York or something.
yes,
Yeah,
so she's still there. Hmm.
yeah, she's still there because I told her, why don't you are you coming to visit Boston? We can do lunch together. And she said that's a wonderful idea. So who knows? Maybe she'll pop up in Boston and we'll meet.
She'll turn up at your front door one day.
I know, right? Oh my God, there's a limo to just drive by. Just kidding. Okay, so tell us about the fittings and registration. Did you get to pick your choice of Sherri Hill dress
Yeah.
to wear during the opening? Did you? Okay.
Yes, so you got to go in and you had to book your fitting time. And I checked in on the second day, so there was a little less to choose from whenever I checked in. But they were
Hmm.
great. Wardrobe were just like pick whatever you're comfortable in, like around your size. We'll alter it if we need to. So we got to try on whenever we needed. Picked our Sherri Hill. Then we
Yeah.
picked the color and style of swimwear we wanted to wear as well.
What color did you pick? The dress.
I went for red. Oh, the
Oh
dress,
yeah.
the Sherri Hill. I wore green Sherri Hill two piece,
Okay.
and then I wore the red Emma Savale bikini.
Okay. Wonderful. Did you like the sponsorships? Did it? I mean, were they nice? Did they
Yes,
fit well? They were.
yeah, they're really pretty. But again, you know what it was? You know what the difficulty was? Any pair of shoes you get, the first time you wear them or the second time you wear them, you're trying to like wear them in, and obviously those shoes stayed in wardrobe. So the first time we really would have put them on was for prelims.
Right.
So the first time wearing them was prelims. The second time was the final night. So we didn't really practice in them or like get to wear them in properly. Whereas our own shoes, you've worn them a few times. They've kind of molded around your
Hmm.
feet and you're used to them. But
Yeah.
they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
Yeah. I think it was a requirement for the girls to wear the sponsor shoes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think. I think you had to wear them during the opening and also during the preliminaries, I believe. Yeah. and
Yes,
swimsuit as
so
well.
the only time we didn't have to wear them was for gown.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Now, did you get to keep those shoes, the sponsor shoes? You did? Okay, that's wonderful. I heard, actually, I heard some of the girls did not, or rather, they left those shoes behind because they couldn't fit in their luggage because some of their luggage were already full. So they just like abandoned them. And I was wondering, you know what? If I would be so lucky to have found any of these shoes and I would like kept them.
There was no way I could
Yeah,
have
they
done
some of the girls
any of those things. I took everything home, everything.
I can just imagine. Maybe you should have like brought like a fifth empty luggage to put all the stuff that all
I
the sponsors
actually,
gifts and the shoes and the wardrobe, everything.
I actually had, I got an extra little suitcase to bring it back, to bring extra stuff back, and just bought some extra luggage because obviously Miss Universe gave us some gifts, sponsorship gave us some gifts, and I was
Okay.
like, these people have given these to us. I do not want to leave them behind, and I want to bring them back even for memories. Like I know
Exactly.
in
Exactly.
Business Smart gave us all of our masks, our country branded masks,
Right.
and the box that we got them in
Hmm.
said our name. Like it was in gold, said our name, and I brought the box home.
Okay. Because you're pretty, right?
I was
Yeah.
like, it's really cute. It's a nice memory. This will be my new Miss Universe memory box.
Well, I think one of the reasons why some of the girls left these things behind is because they didn't want to pay extra for the
Yeah,
luggage.
yeah,
That's why, which is
yeah.
understandable. But you know
To
what?
be,
I don't care. I would have done the same thing too.
I was
I don't care. I
fortunate.
would probably
My
just
husband helped me with the extra
I would
luggage.
I would send the bill. Yeah, I would send the bill, to the Miss Universe Ireland organization. Here, pay the bill for the
Yeah,
extra weight.
they were great. They were like, "Look, we will help you expense some extra luggage." I was like,
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Now, who was your roommate?
Iceland.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Now, did you get along with each other?
I was, do you know what? We talked about it so many times to say that we were so fortunate that we got each other because so actually the night before I found out she was my roommate, when I was in isolation, I saw her posting on Instagram and she was
Yeah.
posting about, I'm so excited to meet my roommate, all of this. And I messaged her and was like, oh my goodness, who is your roommate? And part of me was like, I'm going to keep an eye on these girls that have no roommates because I could be one of theirs. And she was
Right.
like, I don't know. And I was like, I knew who my chaperone was at that stage. And I was like, oh, this is my chaperone. Who's yours? Trying to figure out if we had the same chaperone. And she was like, oh, Shirley's my chaperone. So the next day, when I meant to meet my roommate, my chaperone opened the bedroom door and there's Iceland. She was like, Shirley's not even a real person. She made up a fake chaperone so that I wouldn't figure it out.
Oh, that's amazing. So the two of you just instantly clicked,
Instantly.
personality wise.
Yep, we
Okay.
instantly clicked. We had a lot of laughs. We're very affectionate people, and we love our coffee. We love music. So every morning we got up, we put on. It depended how tired we were. If we were exhausted, we put in our own earphones for like half an hour and drank our coffee first. But if we weren't that tired, we put on 90s music, danced
Right.
around while we got
Yeah.
ready.
So there were no issues whatsoever between the two of you. No sense of jealousy or envy, trying to sabotage each other's gowns, whatever.
Literally none. I turned up and they'd left my luggage off in my room before I got there. And I turned up. She had hung up all my dress bags. She had put my luggage down the side of my bed. She brought me snacks. We took each other's photos because you're so busy and everything is so timetabled. Trying to get photos and even do social media is a push for time. Like you might get
Oh
two
yeah.
shots
Yeah.
to get the photo.
Right.
And
Hmm.
especially this year with so much extra security with the masks and having to move, so we were literally like running to the elevator, and I was like, pose, get the photo.
Okay, well, let's have a little contest. Whoever has the most number of likes wins, right? like.
Literally, no, she was, we were so blessed, and we kept talking about that because our personalities just meshed really well. We weren't
Yeah.
identical, but what's the word I'm looking for? We complemented each other really well.
That's good, and I'm glad that nobody like confused Iceland with Ireland because it's only one letter, like difference. So,
We, at the start, we heard it a few times because we were laughing about it because I would have been walking down the road and they were or down the foyer and they were shouting Iceland, and I was like, I'm not blonde. Because this
And
year
I have
we
longer hair.
yeah, this year we looked so different. So yeah, but it was fine. I think after the first couple of days, people got used to the difference between us.
Okay.
The subtle difference.
So how is your chaperone? Because I heard some of the chaperones could be very, very strict. How is yours?
See, if I could have brought my chaperone home to live with me, I would have. My chaperone was
Yeah, but
called.
that would have made your mom jealous though.
Her and my mom would have got on the best. I know they would be
Oh
best.
really? Okay.
They'd be best friends.
Okay.
My chaperone was literally, she was like another mummy when I got there, but like, me and my mom are best friends, so like it was so nice. But Moni was fantastic. She knew the former Miss Universe Irelands as well. She wasn't their chaperone, but she knew them. So I was talking to them about Moni, and we were all having a laugh. But she was great. She was fantastic. And I actually was talking to her before I left the US,
Mhm.
and talking to another chaperone, Karen, the other day on Instagram.
Oh, that's wonderful. Because I heard the reason I asked about chaperones is because I've heard the horror stories about some of the chaperones. They're so strict. I saw a video of one of the contestants because I know per Miss Universe rules, you know, when you girls walk down the hallway, you couldn't stop and take selfies with the fans, right?
You're not allowed to
So
stop.
there was this one girl who did exactly that, and the chaperone behind her like, pushed her, go, move. And I thought that was funny.
No, we were like told over and over, and I suppose partly COVID, partly security. You were not allowed to stop. Even like to
Right.
pose for a photo, you had to keep moving in a straight line. We weren't meant to have our phones out when we were doing it either because it was like a security breach. So things like that, it was very strict. But what I tried to remember
Mhm.
was, at the end of the day, the chaperones have come and quarantined for 2 weeks. They're now living with us for 2 weeks, and then they're going to
Mhm.
probably have to quarantine again. And they're leaving their families and their day jobs and everything to come and look after us and help us to do this.
Right.
So they're the ones that get like told off, I suppose,
Right.
if we're not safe, if we're not following security. So
Mhm.
but I never had any issues with mine. We were laughing all the time. She'd like pop her head in and say good night and wish us good morning. We made her cups of coffee.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think that's one thing that I really I'm quite impressed with with the Miss Universe organization is how they put safety and security first, top priority. And I noticed that this year because you know I went to Florida and I was like observed the whole thing. Oh my God, everything's so strict. I mean, there's signs literally everywhere on the floor of every you know hotel, whatever, and you know, please wear your mask, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really very impressed, you know,
Yeah.
by that policy.
And
Now,
at all times we felt safe. I think
yes,
that was massive. We felt so safe and so secure at all times.
yeah. Now let's talk about your experience working with Fadil. How was the photo shoot working with Fadil like?
It was
Because
quick.
we all love him.
It was quick. No, it was amazing. I hadn't worked with him before. Typically, we would, as a Miss Universe Ireland, we would have went and done a photo shoot with him because I know the other girls did, but because of COVID, we couldn't. So my first time meeting him was on set that day, and it was amazing. I just, I liked his direction. We worked well together. I love the shots that he got, not just mine, but everyone's. I really love his style, and he's so funny, so funny.
Yeah. Now I haven't seen your photos though. Are they already up on the website?
Well, there's three. There's three up. There's
Okay.
one on my Instagram and two on the Miss Universe Ireland Instagram.
Okay, I need to check them because I know he does phenomenal work, and I think he has this amazing talent of being able to capture you know your best side, your best angle, and whatnot. That's why
Yes,
everybody likes to work with him.
and his
Yeah,
direction is so good. You could tell that he has honestly got so much experience and really has an eye
yeah.
for it. Because I remember him saying, "Toss your head this way." No, toss it this way. Okay, this is your angle. This is your side. And I was like, "Thank you. I appreciate this."
Well, when I saw, and you also had an amazing transformation. You see that photo right here? I love that photo.
Yeah.
Makeup, who did that makeup? Was it like Lisa Opie?
Yes.
I believe, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
She's amazing too. And
Oh,
I wanted to create a banner reflecting the Irish flag. So I found something green right
Yes.
there. And the nearest orange, the closest orange I could get was in this picture.
I love it.
And of
I
course, the
love
rest is the three-leaf clover right there.
it. Oh, I was actually, before I come on the call, I was like, I wonder what he'll have in the background.
And of course, I'm wearing a T-shirt. Says, let's see, okay, it says Hollywood Beach. I got a souvenir from a souvenir store.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, so it's like bright orange. Now, tell us a little bit about your national costume, because I thought you were going to wear a leprechaun costume, but I was wrong, obviously. When I saw your costume, like, what is that? I've never seen an Irish beauty queen wearing that costume. What is the inspiration behind it?
So well, there was a few things I wanted to kind of pay homage to, and I was so lucky and fortunate because Brittany was on the exact same page. See, the whole way through preparation, we were all on the same page, the whole team, because things and options were sent to us all individually every time we picked the exact same thing separately.
Mhm.
But obviously, a lot of the work I do is with children.
Right.
A lot of the work I do is through storytelling. That's my whole job. I take storytelling and I channel mental health lessons through these stories. And whenever you're growing up here in Ireland, pretty similar to everywhere else, storytelling is a big part of growing up. And
Mhm.
I always remember sitting listening to my granny and granda's stories and my next door neighbor telling me about the fairies at the bottom of the garden and how you need to respect them. You don't anger the fairies, you pay respect to them. And fairy doors, you do not mess with fairy doors whenever you see them in the forest because they help to protect the forests.
Right.
And those that respect them, they will give you fortune and good luck.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's something that we grow up listening to a lot. And I think sometimes as adults, we forget about it too quickly. We forget about the magic. And
Hmm.
really, that just spreads happiness. That magic, I'm a big
Right.
child at heart, and it just
Of
makes me
course.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, whenever we were talking about it all, Brittany had said, she was like, so I have an idea, but if you don't like it, don't go for it. And I thought of my own ideas as well. And we were kind of coming together to put them on the table. And she had thought of this before, and she was like, whenever I saw you, I was like, this is just going to be perfect for you with your features and everything. And she said, a fairy, an Irish hawthorn fairy. And I was like, oh my goodness, I want wings. I want something that's mysterious and gives a little nod to childhood and to children. So it just worked. It just worked.
Right.
And I still wanted it, I didn't want it to be a traditional airy fairy green and
Right.
sparkly. Do you know what I
Like
mean? I
like
wanted it to be
like Peter Pan.
yes, I didn't want to tinker Tinkerbell. I wanted it to be strong, and I wanted it to be reminiscent of my home. So
Right.
that's where the color schemes and stuff came, and it was like I don't know if you saw the straps were made of leather brandished with gold. So yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I had a little four-leaf clover charm here as well. It was great.
Yeah. Was it heavy though? I mean, I know the wings are large, but were they kind of like heavy? They're heavy.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were heavy and they actually weren't strapped on my arms. So there was a little pocket
Hmm.
on my back that they slid in that a part of the wire slid into. Because we didn't want a big bulky harness either. We still wanted it to be strong but
Right.
delicate. So the wings
Yeah.
were heavy, but it was balancing them. I just had to get used to. And the top was heavy as well, but the skirt was very light.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually love the color because it just everything, the whole thing fit you to a T. It was like perfect,
Oh,
you know. And I love the way that you executed the wings, the whole thing, you know. I mean, also you sort of like have some subtle elfish features, like with your eyes and your nose and stuff and everything. So it was perfect. So no more leprechaun costumes for me.
no more leprechauns. Ireland is not here to play.
Now, as you know, this year, it was an all-female panel of judges. A lot of people did not like that. They
Mhm,
didn't think it was diverse,
mhm.
and it was basically it was discriminatory for that matter. Did you like the idea of having an all-women panel of judges?
To be honest, I hadn't thought about it. It hadn't thinking about what gender it hadn't come across to me at the time when we were in the run up. I was just so nervous. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, what are they going to ask? What is going to be said? And I was so excited. I think with regards to having like an opinion on whether they should be all female or should not be all female, I do understand where Paula is coming from, and that Paula whenever she was speaking to us, she spoke with such passion, and she wants to have as many empowering women involved in this. And it's not that there aren't empowering men out there, of course there are, and that's something that could be introduced then in the following years.
Right.
But I didn't think, again, I was there 1 year. That was my first experience. I understand a lot of pageant fans have been following it for years and years and years, and they've continuously watched the pattern, and they have a right to be frustrated if that's what they're calling.
Right.
But I didn't give it a second thought. The judges that were there when I met them were so lovely, and that's the very first thing and the main thing I remember. When I walked in, they smiled, and they commented on my red hair, they commented on my outfit, and we had a laugh. I had a little joke with them.
Now, what kind of questions did they ask you though? Were there a lot of hard political questions, or, I mean, walk us through the interview.
They wanted to find out about me. They asked about my job, about why I went into the profession I did, what it took. They asked about my country and how COVID had impacted my country, both physically, society-wise, and mentally. They asked about my family. They asked about my sustainable fashion and my passion for that and how I was implementing it. Yeah, and they commented on me being the only redhead.
See, everybody noticed it.
Yeah,
everybody know you're the only redhead.
They were like, how are you the only redhead? I was like, I know, but don't worry, I'm here.
So I think there were like two tables.
Yep.
Each table had four judges.
4 at one side and 4 at the other.
Yeah. Which of the judges gave you the most difficult question? Any of them had attitude problems?
No, they all were super friendly. They all smiled. They all responded. And I kind of was preparing myself for going in. I wanted to prepare myself for the worst, for them not smiling, for them constantly looking down. But I went in and they all smiled. They all acknowledged me. They acknowledged my answers. They seemed genuinely interested in what I was saying. And it didn't seem like it was super planned out and it was just jumping from one place to the other. It seemed to flow and that they were bouncing off my answer to find the next question, which was really nice.
Right. That's amazing. At least, I mean, you were able to present your true personality, yourself and whatnot. Because a lot of fans had this impression that the judges were very mean. They were nitpicking every flaw, every error in all the contestants. It was basically a psychological mental game, but none of that happened.
No, my experience, they were lovely. It genuinely seemed like we were just having a conversation. They wanted to know about me. They wanted to know why I was there and what I cared about and why I cared about it. And then obviously, I think the first question they asked me was, okay, I go to Ireland tomorrow and where are you taking me? I was like, oh my goodness, let's do it. Let's make this a reality.
Exactly. Hey, that's wonderful. Okay, so I have some comments on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
A fan from Thailand, Fanasa, she's a good friend of mine, says, hi, Nadia.
Hi,
Vanessa. And then somebody from New York, and NY Met 73 says, Ms. Ireland, can you talk about the fans cheering for you at the hotel lobby?
Oh, that made my
Did you see any fans like waving the Irish flag or?
No, I didn't see anyone waving the Irish flag. Well, obviously when I walked out, I heard them cheering Ireland when they saw me. But it made me so happy. At the start, it was really surreal. The first day, I would think I was in shock. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was a little bit scared, but I think it was because I wasn't anticipating it. And I remember it was the first night we came in, we were leaving late and there was fans in the lobby. And then there was obviously journalists and bloggers then at that other section. And they were like, go, 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 you need to walk. And I was like, oh my goodness. But see, all of the girls, we all appreciated the fans being there so much because you made it so real. If that makes sense, you made it not just us standing in a room together, you made it an experience. Right. And being able to meet you and even the short time of when we were walking past, being able to pass a comment or have a little bit of a conversation and see how a fan was amazing, was absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much for everyone who did shout Ireland and who smiled and waved. That I will never forget that. I was telling my friends every time I went into my hotel room.
That's amazing. Well, I don't know if you heard that incident about Miss Ukraine.
Mm-mm.
because I think Ukraine and Colombia arrived at the hotel together. But Colombia, being a huge pageant-loving country,
Yeah.
was basically mobbed by her fans, by her adoring fans. And Miss Ukraine, nobody said hello to her. So she felt
Oh,
sort of like sad and lonely. So she ended up like signing the program book with her autograph.
mhm,
Whereas Miss Columbia was being interviewed, was being cheered upon by all her fans. And then the
mhm.
next day, all of a sudden, Miss Ukraine read all these wonderful words of encouragement from people from all over the world. Don't be sad. We're here to support you. We love you. Blah blah blah, etc. So she was very touched by that gesture. Yeah.
And every message and every comment that someone does make, every positive good thought that they send us, because I know my inbox was going crazy, but I made sure that at the end of every night I went through all of my inbox, my message requests and everything, because those people were taking the time to send me their love and their good luck. And it
Right.
really does make a difference. It really does make an impact on our experience. And even just our day, some days were tiring, they were exhausting, and you were
Mhm.
coming in and sitting on your bed and you were thinking, "Ugh, I have to do social media now," and you just wanted to sleep. But whenever you got to read those messages and have conversations with people that you never met before, it was so heartwarming.
Yeah. That's good to know. That's good to know. Another comment from a fan, David Mendoza. Hi, Rafa. I love this interview. Hello, Nadia. You are so pretty.
Oh,
My good friend from Puerto Rico, Hector Joaquin, remembers you when you competed at Miss Intercontinental,
I
and
love
he said
Hector.
Nadia was such a good contestant and at Miss Intercontinental. Okay, another question from a guy named Addy. Nadia, Ireland has been participating at Miss Universe for many years. My question is, why do you think Ireland hasn't won Miss Universe?
Hmm.
Good question.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know. I think part of it obviously is whenever we started here, pageantry still isn't massive here in Ireland.
Right.
There are a lot of countries that there's a lot of support, there's a lot of time and a lot of training channeled into someone who is interested in pageantry. And here in Ireland, it's something that's, although we've been competing there for many years, to general society and public, it's kind of relatively new. People don't typically follow it unless they're involved in it some way. So I
Mhm.
think potentially that, because the resources that were put into it weren't as vast before as other countries. It was like even training, pageantry training isn't massive here.
Mhm.
And when Brittany came over, she completely revolutionized how we train and prepare for pageantry,
Mhm.
which was fantastic. And I think it's reignited an interest in pageantry and seeing the true opportunities and how not only the external opportunities, but how you can grow as a person. So
Right.
I do think that that's starting to change. But again, I do think partly resources, whenever we were going, and
Mhm.
a lot when I was a little girl, I didn't know about pageants. I didn't really know other than Miss Universe, which I was like, oh my goodness, that's massive. But I didn't really follow many others because there weren't really any others here.
Right.
Um, and it was something that for a long time seemed very inaccessible.
Yeah.
So I think now that's changing. We're changing the narrative of pageantry here. We're putting out the true purpose of it, and
Right.
we're showing people that it is open to everybody. It is open to anyone,
Mhm.
and just find what you're passionate about, find your why, and
Mhm.
enter. Go.
Well, yeah. I mean, I keep telling everybody. I mean, for some reason, a lot of people have this misconception that there's height requirement, for Miss Universe. There was never a height requirement, not as far as I remember. They have crowned queens who are short as 5 feet 3 inches tall, and the latest Miss Universe is almost 6 feet tall. So there's really no height requirement. I
Yeah.
don't recall if there's a weight requirement either.
Mhm.
We're talking about like body positivity these days. It's a important
Yeah.
issue. Anybody can enter. I think they're
Yeah.
looking for
I was
something.
never
Yeah, there was never any like
that kind of
physical
thing.
requirements. As long as you're not married,
Yeah.
as long as you have not given any birth,
Mm-hmm.
so forth and so on, you're fine. And of course, you have to be at least 28 or under
28 when you compete
when you
internationally.
compete when you
Yeah.
compete internationally. Now, were there any moments of, let's say, despair or sadness in your part during the competition? Were there any moments where you felt lonely?
I think when I first checked in, I got there, I left my team for the first time because my director picked me up at the airport. I went from my home with my partner to the airport with my director, and I was around my team the whole time. And then whenever I was dropped off, I was in a room by myself for the first time, really, with like calmness and stillness. And I remember after I did my live, before I ate my food, or before I did my live, sorry, I was like, this is real. This is here now. This thing that I have wanted for so long, that I've been chasing and working for, and I've been prepping for so long, is here. And there was a part of me that was nearly scared. You know, when you're kind of, they always say when you're teetering on the edge of greatness, you're terrified. And that's what kept going through my head. I was like, this is going to be terrific, such an amazing experience, and so much potential. But I was petrified. And then Miss Singapore called me, and we talked, and I was honest with her. She asked how I was, and I was like, I feel a bit strange being by myself. I'm a bit scared. And she was like, girl, that's understandable. This is massive, but we're all here for each other, and we're all in the same boat. And she reminded me of that. And as soon as I had that phone call, I was serene again. Yeah. I think I just needed reminded that I wasn't by myself in this, even though I felt like I was by myself in that moment. But that was really it. After that, it was such a whirlwind, but it was all fantastic. Like I said, every time, all the days seemed like they were so long, but so long because you got to do so much stuff. But the weeks flew in.
That's wonderful. Now, well, thank you, Miss Singapore, for bringing some sunshine to Miss Ireland's life. Okay. Now, okay, here's an interesting question. What color best describes your outlook on life?
Yellow.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow is the color of joy. Yellow. You know that.
My yellow flowers, or my yellow outfit.
Oh, there you go. Sunflower is my favorite flower, by the way. And I'm raising them in my garden as we speak.
Ooh, that's not easy to do either.
No, they're not. And we're talking about like 6 feet tall sunflowers. They're beautiful, and you can eat the seeds too.
Yes, yes, they're very
vitamin D. Yeah, vitamin D.
No, I think
okay, so what do you think? Yeah. Sorry? So what do you think? What do you think of Miss Mexico winning Miss Universe?
She's so sweet, honestly. Andrea, we weren't super close. We were in different groups for a lot of the time, but obviously during meal times and rehearsals, we got to kind of speak. And I remember she always made an effort to speak to people. Every time you looked at her, she was smiling or laughing. That night, we were walking up the stairs to the dressing rooms again, and I can't remember what it was. I think we were told to go upstairs, and then we were told to come downstairs, and then we were told to go back upstairs. And she was behind me, and she just burst out laughing. She was like, "Oh my goodness!" So like from the limited interaction we had, she just seemed like such a genuine, nice girl. So yeah, I was so happy for her. At the end of the day, there was 74 of us there. We all knew only one girl is going to win that job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's something you need to be prepared for. But I'm glad that it went to someone who is just so lovely. And that's what we were saying actually before the final. The night before, I was with my chaperone and my group, and I was like, this is the last night that we don't know. Tomorrow, we know Miss Universe. And for so long, we've looked up to Miss Universe and seen her on social media and followed her. And now we're actually going to like know her. We're going to be her or know her. That's
right. Yeah.
And I thought it was so surreal and exciting. So it was lovely. It was just lovely.
That's wonderful. Of course, social media can be very toxic, and people are speculating or theorizing that the only reason why Mexico won is because of Telemundo. She was sort of like called, oh, look at Miss Telemundo Universe, Miss Mexico, only because Mexicans are the largest Spanish-speaking audience of Telemundo, which is, I think, is absurd. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's no basis for that stupid speculation whatsoever. Like, I think she won fair and square, and I think she was destined to win anyway.
And I do think that
now,
if people are going to be unhappy about it, that if someone's going to spend that time and channel that energy into that sort of behavior, no matter who won, there would be something that would be found to be unhappy about. Does that make sense?
Like, oh yeah, I mean, you can't please everybody. I don't recall of any Miss Universe ever having pleasing everyone. You
No.
know, for that matter, no, because we all have our own opinions. You know, we're all subjective, and everything is it's relative. So yeah. Now, were you shocked at all that some of the quote unquote front runners did
Uh-huh.
not make the top 21, including yourself? I mean, I was actually rooting for you, and I said, you know what? Where the hell is Ireland? Like I
Uh-huh.
was watching, where the hell is this girl? She
Mhm.
should have been there and stuff and everything. And of course, the other girls like Romania, South Africa, who else? Chile. They were all very popular in social media, but they were
Yeah.
totally, totally shut out. So,
Yeah.
what is your opinion?
And the thing is, it's not a case of it's not the case that they were different behind the scenes. All of those girls were lovely girls. They had beautiful souls. They really cared about people. So there were like obviously whoever got in the top 21 was there for a reason. I completely believe that. I believe everything happens for a reason. There were a couple that I kind of had anticipated that would be up there that weren't, which did surprise me. But again, I think it was just a case of and getting different placements. But again, I think it is just a case of there was some reason. We don't know what it is now, but we'll find out someday.
You know what? I was wondering too if the panel of judges had been a mixed sex panel,
Mm-hmm.
maybe bringing like three fabulous gay men like myself, the results probably would have been totally different.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
probably would have picked. I definitely would have picked you, and all the other girls that I've interviewed, of
yeah.
course. So yeah, I mean, I just thought it was very weird, and there were a lot of strange stuff that I'd
Mm-hmm.
seen this year that I've never
Mm-hmm.
seen before. So I thought it
Yeah,
was very interesting.
yeah.
Okay, a
Well,
comment. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just weird. Let me read a comment. Let's see from a fan from South Africa,
oh,
and Anton. Hi Nadia, much love from South Africa. For what it's worth, you were legitimately one of my favorites for the crown this year. That's what Anton says, South Africa.
let
So
me
yeah,
look at that,
big
Anton.
love coming from South Africa. Another one. Oh, this is one of the questions I was going to ask you, but
Okay.
Anton beat me to it. He said, "Do you think removing the continental breakdown was fair? Many pageant fans were unhappy that almost no Europeans and zero Africans made the cut.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?"
I do. It did surprise me that they didn't use the continental formatting. In all honesty, I wish they had, but you know what it is. They have their reasons. I don't know. We don't know why. I'm sure they have their reasons. I think that it was a shock, and a lot of fans were shocked as to how the ratios turned out. Um, but yeah, I prefer the continental formatting, but I'm
Right.
sure they did it for some reason.
Yeah, because when I think of Europe, okay, you know what? I could easily put like five top European beauty queens up in the top five. Of course, UK, Great Britain,
Uh-huh.
France, Romania, and Italy. I mean, those are top five Europeans right there. And for Africa, since you only have like four girls from Africa, usually they combined Africa with Asia,
Yes.
in the past.
Mhm.
But I could have like put maybe Cameroon or even South Africa,
Yes.
from that region alone. But they had their own reasons, and one of the reasons that I read was that, oh, you know what, this year they're looking specifically for a Latina beauty queen, and since there's so many wonderful, excellent Latina beauty queens,
Mhm.
but most of them are not necessarily good in speaking English. So
Mhm.
that's their advantage. So that's why they scrapped the continental format in favor of the top 21 non-continental format, just so they could allow more
Okay.
Latina beauty queens to the top. I don't know. It's one of those like
Yeah.
stupid,
One of those
bizarre,
theories out there.
one of those conspiracy theories out there. Who knows? Who knows? Now, um, what do you think is the most challenging aspect of the entire pageant? I mean, in the whole 10, 11 days you were in Florida, what do you think was the most challenging, the most difficult, whatever
I think
aspect?
the one thing I would think is probably the challenge is energy. Because you are busy. You're busy the whole time. And for someone who comes from somewhere like Ireland, the heat, we're not used to it and it wears us out a lot quicker. At the beginning, see, my one piece of advice for anybody going international, grab sleep when you can, when it's appropriate. And make sure you're eating because see this year I honestly was so happy to see every single girl ate. There were no girls that we noticed that weren't eating, were skipping meals. Everyone ate. We changed our eating habits, as in we stuck to like proteins and loads of vegetables and stayed hydrated, but we ate because you need to. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Right,
And
exactly.
I think just holding that energy, not just for the show, but obviously for fans and things as well, because they have waited there for hours. They want to see you, they want to interact with you. And although we were restricted to what we could do, when you saw them, you wanted to be able to acknowledge them and have some fun with them while you could. So being able to gather that energy and channel it when you needed to, and then reserve it and try and restore it when you could, that is the biggest thing that I say that people need to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Now, who was in your group? I know the girls were divided into groups. Who was in your group?
So yeah, we were in groups of 4 with a chaperone. So there was myself and Iceland, and then Poland and Israel.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like 10 per group. So there were 4 per groups?
Yeah,
No.
so per chaperone group, like there was
Oh,
only
I thought it was alphabetical order. Okay.
no, so there would have been 4 of us to a chaperone,
Okay.
and then it depended. We were pulled to different things at different times. Usually we were kept within our groups, but sometimes groups split.
Were there any mean girls?
Honestly, no. We
Oh,
were
come
talking about
on.
that. No,
Be
honestly,
honest.
we
Okay.
were. No, I am.
This is not a trap.
We were, I would tell you, we're friends now, Rafa.
Okay. I was going to ask you, okay, what is your opinion of this country from A to V? Let's start with Argentina. Is she a bitch or what? Like, no, I'm just kidding. I love Argentina,
Scale
by
of
the way.
1 to 10.
Yeah, there you go.
No, we were talking about it backstage, myself and Italy and a few other girls, to say obviously this is the only year we've experienced with Miss Universe, but we all kind of felt like we were a family. Some of the other girls said that obviously other years it wasn't that they didn't get on, but they had their own groups that they kind of stuck to. Whereas this year, everyone at meal times, we made an effort to go and meet people that we didn't get to talk to on a daily basis. We made an attempt to mix, even if it was on social media, jump on each other's lives when we were in our rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But we did, honestly, there was nobody there that I wouldn't have asked to zip up my dress or help me up the stairs. And done the same for vice versa. Backstage, you were grabbing dresses and tucking little hanger strings in, and you were fixing people up before they went on stage. It's just the way it was. So it was a really nice experience to be a part of.
So you guys were, I know that you had long rehearsals, like what? Like 15 hours, 15 hours a day of rehearsals? I mean, that could be very, very exhausting right there. And when you talk about energy, like, did you have any like what do you call it, like energy bars in your purse that you can eat?
So we had lunch, we had our breakfast, and then we had time for lunch. We were either brought to have lunch or they brought lunch to us.
Okay.
And the same for dinner. So they always made sure that there was food available, and there was always like a snack cart with coffee and water and snacks. But our chaperone as well gave us the heads up to bring. I brought protein bars, I brought some fruit, things like that. Just
Lots
to
of
top
water, of course. You need lots of water,
yeah, just to kind of top up and keep yourself hydrated. And the choreographers were super understanding. They were taking the time. They're like, when you need to rest your feet, rest your feet. This is an opportunity where half of you can sit down now for 15 minutes, eat something, drink some water, and then we'll restart again. So they were very conscious of the length of the day and how we were feeling, which was amazing. It wasn't like a drill sergeant kind of energy at all. But yeah, they made time for us to eat. I think I brought some backup Red Bull in case I needed it. And I didn't really need it. I had a couple of B12 like tablets. I took B12 tablets in the morning. That was about it. That and coffee.
Coffee. Well, you got to have coffee too, right?
Yeah.
Did you put something in your coffee like cream, milk, sugar, whatever, or just black?
No, I don't take dairy. So I have almond milk in my coffee when it's
Oh
available.
yeah, me too. Well, I'm vegan, so I don't take dairy. So
well, when it's available. If it's not available, I just take a black. But one of the waiters, when I was in for breakfast, because I was tempted to start taking sugar just to get a bit of energy, and he said, no, try honey in your coffee. And I put a teaspoon of honey, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was so smooth and just the right amount of sweetness.
yeah.
That's something I'm going to keep doing every so often.
Or you can also try agave nectar. I mean, they're very popular in America. Yeah.
I put agave on my oats, in my protein oats in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, sugar is okay, but if you take a lot of it, especially white sugar, is bad for you anyway.
Yeah. It
I
was
like
more
sugar.
I
Brown
wanted to
sugar is
avoid
better.
the crash.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
what I wanted to avoid.
So what was the best thing about the pageant? Like, let's say if you were to share your story with your children,
Uh-huh.
like 10 years, 20 years from now, or with your grandchildren, what would you tell them the best thing about the whole experience about the pageant?
So there are two things that are standing
This
out.
girl stole my this. No, just kidding.
I came home with all of my stuff intact.
Okay, there you go.
So event wise, I think my favorite and most standout was whenever we met Demi Lee and she did her Unbreakable workshop with us. I have been a fan of Demi's for years. So and
She's
I
sweet. She's so sweet. Yeah.
yeah, and they said that day, they're like, yes, Demi Lee's coming in. I was like, oh my goodness, what? And my chaperone was her chaperone the year she won, so I was fangirling like in the corner with my chaperone. And Demi Lee was lovely. She took the time to actually. She came down. She was like, "Okay, like I want to get photos with every single one of you. I want to talk to you." She complimented my outfit. I was so excited.
That's great.
So I think meeting her, and then as well, just the general. Whenever we were in the dressing rooms, getting ready for prelims or final, and when we were waiting backstage, the energy and the laughs and the vibe with the girls, like one minute we were all dancing and laughing, the next minute we were helping each other like do pep talks and psych each other up, and then obviously running around our dressing gowns eating sandwiches.
Just being girls,
Just
just
being
be
girls,
yourself.
excited to get in front of some lights.
Right, exactly. Okay, somebody's asking, well, Hector, do you have any plans of competing in another international pageant like Miss World?
I've been asked this quite a lot. Um, Unfortunately, I will not be competing in Miss World.
Okay.
I am
So you're done with that. You're done with pageants.
I am done competing.
Okay.
My goal was Miss Universe. Miss Universe was my peak, and I reached my peak. So I can retire happy and content. I still want to be
Okay.
involved in that world for sure. I don't want to leave that world at all, but I'm just not going to be
Mhm.
competing anymore.
Okay. Okay. So you heard that, fans, right? She's done with pageants. She's reached her peak. No offense to Miss World, but she's done her peak with Miss Universe. Well, that's good to know. Listen, before I let you go, is there a message that you want to transmit to your supporters and fans from all over the world?
I just want to say thank you so much. And I know maybe that's just you're sitting at home and you're saying, oh, of course she's just saying thank you. But honestly, I hope that you all see that I see all of your messages. I respond in some way. Keep messaging, keep talking to me. Let me know how even if it's just letting me know how your day is going. I appreciate every single one of you, and you have made my experience so memorable. And I am going to tell my grandkids about the phenomenal people that I interacted with whenever I was competing in Miss Universe. And hopefully, you still stand by me, even though I'm not in Miss Universe now. Stand by me, keep an eye on the next part of the journey, see what else we've got up to date, and yeah, just talk to me. Let me know how your day's going.
Right. And also, I want to remind everybody that Nadia's platform is mental health awareness. And
Yes,
if you have any questions regarding mental illness or depression, feel free to reach out to her and she'll be more than happy to talk to you about this
we can
issue.
have a discussion,
And also,
the appropriate
yeah,
places.
and you've recently reached over 10,000 Instagram followers, right? Woohoo!
Yeah, yeah. So I had a little
Last,
10K
and you,
photo. Never work with balloons.
yeah,
They're a hassle.
yes. Yeah, I mean, I love those pictures, by the way.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, so if you want to follow Nadia on Instagram, her Instagram account is, would you like to share your Instagram account?
At littlered.s.
Okay, that at littlered.s. So that's her official Instagram account. Listen, beautiful young girl, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for sharing this time, you know, with us and sharing your experience, with Miss Universe pageant. And I really believe that there's bigger, brighter, and better things stored for you. And I wish you someday, hopefully, when I visit Ireland, you can give me a tour of your beautiful country. I've never been there.
If I find
Yeah,
out you've been here and not told me, I will find you. No, thank
I'm
you.
here in Belfast. Oh no, Belfast is in Northern Ireland. Sorry, I'm here in Limerick. Pick me up.
Anywhere,
I
anywhere
have
in
more
Ireland,
limericks for you.
I will find you. It's not that far to drive. We'll find you.
It's not that far at all. And a special shout out to the Miss Universe Ireland organization for granting me this interview with Nadia again. And thank you, Miss Universe Ireland. You're doing a great job. You're an excellent, beautiful representative this year.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, spend a wonderful time at the gym, okay?
Yep.
And I will be stalking and following you on your Instagram. And this is not the end of our chats, Missy.
Oh
We're gonna be
no,
talking some more.
you're not
Yeah.
getting rid of me that easily. Mm-mm.
Maybe we'll have a group chat with Miss Singapore as well. That will be fun. Or and also Miss Iceland. So we'll
Oh
do
my
that.
goodness, Miss Universe reunion. I would love it.
That yeah, that'll be fun. So listen, I'm gonna give you a virtual hug, virtual kisses. Say, have a wonderful night. I'll talk
Thanks.
to you soon.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon.